A storm is brewing in the Western Conference, and the Lakers are right in the middle of it. For weeks, analysts questioned whether the early season results meant anything, whether the teams were truly in contention for the title, or if it was all just noise before the real battles began. And while most teams stumbled with inconsistency, one thing became impossible to ignore. A new giant is emerging in the West, and the Lakers are now forced to confront a version of the conference unlike anything we've seen in years. The matchups are tougher, the schedule's more brutal, and every player understands that one mistake can change the entire race to the top. Tonight's story isn't about the standings or spectacular plays. It's about pressure, identity, survival, and the dangerous truth the Lakers are discovering about the teams around them. What really ignited everything wasn't a crushing victory or a viral play. It was a series of games that revealed who was truly prepared for a long campaign. Golden State crumbled under its own weight. The Clippers' stars seemed to fade just when the spotlight was on them, and Dallas seemed lost trying to keep up with the conference's pace. But amidst all the chaos, one team refused to slow down. Night after night, they imposed a fast pace, exploited opponents' weaknesses, and forced veteran teams to call timeouts early on. And suddenly the Lakers found themselves facing the question, is this the new standard? Because if so, then all teams, including Los Angeles, are facing a different challenge, one where youth, speed, and relentless defense may be more valuable than the individual talent of stars. Inside the Lakers' locker room, the conversation changed. Coaches began analyzing videos differently, focusing on rotations that most teams never use so early in the season. Players commented on how the pace of the game was evolving, with younger rosters overcoming defensive traps as if they were nothing. What surprised everyone was the consistency. These rising teams didn't need their reserves to be perfectly healthy, nor all their starters to have stellar performances. They simply overwhelmed their opponents with waves of energy, forcing turnovers, reducing court space, suffocating guards, a style designed to expose anyone who wasn't fully focused. And for the Lakers, seeing these teams win, even with the absence of key players, was a wake-up call. The margin for error had disappeared. But defense alone wasn't the story. The offensive evolution was even more alarming. These teams attacked from every angle: secondary playmakers, off-ball scorers, high-speed pick-and-rolls, supporting players transforming into reliable finishers. It didn't matter who touched the ball first. There was always someone ready to break down the defense. The Lakers studied this carefully because it was no longer about isolating superstars. It was about decision-making, instant reads, and the ability to punish the slightest rotation error. Even the league's best rim protectors struggled to keep up with the constant switching of assignments and quick drives to the basket. And while the Lakers have size, experience, and championship DNA, this new style of play demands something even more difficult: constant adaptability. Further fueling this narrative were the roster changes that shaped the league's future. Front offices across the West were building teams like laboratories, developing talent, rotating young players, and using roster depth as a weapon. San Antonio reinforced wings with tall players. Sacramento rebuilt its team quickly around its core. Houston and Minnesota combined elite defenders with three-point shooting centers. And every time the Lakers gained ground in the standings, another team restructured with renewed energy from the bench. This is the new arms race: flexibility instead of flash, depth instead of desperation, long-term strategy instead of last-minute signings. Los Angeles understands that stars define championships, but roster depth decides who survives the regular season war. A story the Lakers are closely following is how these rising teams continue to replace talent without losing production. Players chosen in the later rounds of the draft become immediate rotation pieces. Versatile players become reliable contributors. Young point guards take on responsibility in crucial moments as if they've been in the league for years. This scares veteran teams because it means the difference between rebuilding franchises. For the Lakers, the question isn't whether they can compete. They absolutely can. The real problem is whether they can adapt quickly enough. They have the experience, the leadership, and the champion mentality. But each season, tradition becomes less important and evolution more so. Rotations need to be more precise. Defensive schemes need to be more refined. The offense can no longer rely solely on slow, half-court plays, and the coaching staff knows this. That's why every practice, every video session, every preseason game now carries extra weight. They're not preparing for the playoffs in April. They're preparing for tonight, because the gap between title contenders and challengers is narrowing faster than ever. Still, if there's one thing the Lakers organization understands better than any other team in the West, it's how to react when the pressure mounts. They've rebuilt dynasties before, turned doubt into motivation, and faced the league's ever-changing landscape as a personal challenge. And this season, that challenge is clearer than ever: adapt or be left behind. Watching these young teams fearlessly dominate should ignite the flame in every veteran in the locker room. The Lakers don't need to outpace the entire conference, they just need to evolve faster than the teams chasing them. And with the right adjustments, the right rotations, and the right chemistry, this battle is far from over. So, as the season progresses and the matchups intensify, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The Western Conference is becoming a battleground of styles, strategies, and identities. The Lakers are entering a new era where every possession matters, where roster depth can trump talent, and where youth can overcome experience if the latter refuses to adapt. But this is Los Angeles, the franchise built on legacy, reinvention, and resilience. And if they embrace the evolution happening around them, if they study the rise of these new competitors and turn that into fuel, then the story of the West can still unfold through them. The journey is just beginning, and the Lakers are ready to prove that the story still has room for one more chapter written in purple and gold.